This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sujitha.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm doing good, sir.
Where are you speaking from?
I'm speaking from Martur, a small town in...
I see. So far away from Hyderabad, you mean?
Yeah, I'm far away from Hyderabad. 300 kilometers.
300 kilometers, I see. So you are a computer engineer?
Yes, sir.
And you have taken public administration as a subject, and you worked for some KLA corporation, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you didn't like that job, it is. You didn't like that job?
I like the
like
job.
that job in KLA corporation?
I like the job, sir.
So what attracts you in civil service?
The notion to serve the citizens of the country that attract me into the civil services.
Okay. Now you are in Andhra Pradesh, which is struggling to find out to locate a place for its capital. What is the problem in locating a capital, deciding on one capital? They were having three of them.
Sir, the intention for three capitals is to have a decentralized and inclusive development of all three regions of Andhra Pradesh. So, diverted from the previous regime to have Amravati as the capital, current regime have decided to have three capitals, judicial, executive and legislative capital in three geographical regions, so that everyone can have their access to the governance nearer to them.
So one region will have access to judiciary, the other will have access to executive, and the third one will have access to something else. So there will be deprivation of some kind.
Sir, there are
everywhere. What do you think should be the ideal? Because earlier in Kashmir, for instance, in J&K, there were two capitals. They tried to reduce it to one. And Uttarakhand is already having problems. So how the decision is making to have three capitals?
Yes, sir, I agree with you. There are downsides to have three capitals in collaborating, and the amount of capital or money that goes into collaboration. My advice would be to have one capital, which is in the middle of all three regions, and to simultaneously develop all regions, which was done in Tamil Nadu. Along with Chennai, they have developed cities like Tiruchirappalli, Coimbatore, Madurai. So we can have that model and develop all the regions and have capital in one place.
So, Sujitha, you are from Andhra Pradesh. So, Andhra Pradesh, does it have a bicameral legislature?
Yes, sir.
Is there a legislative council also?
Yes, sir. There is a legislative council.
Okay. What is the provision to create legislative council?
Sir, in the first step, State Assembly has to send a resolution to a resolution has to be voted in the state legislation. Then it has to be sent to the Parliament, which can approve
and Parliament has to enact the law. All right, very right. And do you think the councils actually serve any useful purpose?
Yes, sir. They act as a system to review the acts passed in the Assembly and have a second look on all the bills. And it will give the representation.
They can't do anything. They can't amend any bill. The Assembly still have a power to reject their recommendations. So what is the purpose then, if they can't make any change?
Sir, in Legislative Council, we can stall the bill for 3 to 4 months, which can compensate Assembly not to make hasty decisions in the favor of populist measures. So even Legislative Council can send back the bill with recommendations. Those recommendations can be meaningful, sir.
So if it is so useful, then why don't we create it for all states? Why did the Constitution kept it an option rather than a norm?
Sir, I'm not completely aware of the constitutional debate that went into that process, but my
Okay.
reason would be to give autonomy to the states to decide upon their own political structure.
Okay. Okay. So, and how about Rajya Sabha? Do you think that Rajya Sabha is able to fulfill the constitutional mandate?
Yes, sir. It has proved its worth during emergency times by stalling the bills when government has absolute majority in Lok Sabha, which has given some edge to opposition parties in Rajya Sabha, sir. It has proven its worth time and time and again.
Okay. Okay. One more aspect of Rajya Sabha was that it was supposed to be a representation of states in the parliament. But the domicile requirement that was there, that the person of Rajya Sabha should belong to that state, that has been removed. So don't you think that is in a way betraying the mandate with which it was created?
Sir, I think the intention was good to have a domicile requirement, but India has single citizenship where one can born in any state and work for other state. For example, if you take the example of Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, she was born in Tamil Nadu, but she has done good work in Andhra Pradesh too. So,
But if a person is not aware of the ground situation in a particular state, say a person is born in Tamil Nadu and they have spent their entire life there, and they are given a membership from say a state like Bihar, where they are not aware of the situation, don't you think that that violates the principle with which this provision was there?
sir, the argument goes beyond the mandate of constitution. So it should be in the
Is
consent
the
of
condition there in the condition there in the constitution?
No, sir.
Condition?
No, sir. It was my mistake. It was in Representation of People's Act.
People.
Yeah. To answer your question, sir, it should be in the consents of political parties who are giving the chance to the person to contest from that particular position or the constituency, sir.
You've taken public administration as your optional.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell me, according to you, has the role of PMO been very intrusive in foreign policy making? And has the role been snatched away from MEA?
Sir, can I think for a minute?
Yes.
So there were instances in the past where PMO overstepped its limits in the foreign policy. For example, during the regime of Mrs. Indira Gandhi and Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. Now PMO has restricted its role. I believe in that, sir.
Okay. Do you think 2014 can be called as an inflection point in India's foreign policy?
Sir, we can say that from 2014, India has been assertive in its foreign policy and diversified its diplomatic acumen by policies like Act East, Sagar, and negotiating deals with countries like Israel, sir.
And with Israel, we introduced something called dehyphenation.
Yes, sir.
of relationship. What is meant by that?
So de-hyphenation is like segregation of issues. Trade is trade, business is business. Other factors, political factors are different. So India has back from its stance in Israel-Palestine issue and trying to increase the collaboration in trade and business with Israel, sir.
And Sujitha, can you tell me why is India helping Turkey?
Sir, India has always been the first country or first responder to the disasters across the world, and India want to ascertain its position in the global order and to campaign the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, one family, one world.
And any other intentions or reasons can you think of?
Sir, I'm certain there are political reasons. Turkey has been close to NATO and all the Western and European nations, and India want to has its leverage in the Middle East also, sir. There can be political reasons also.
And what about Afghanistan? What should India's foreign policy be there?
Sir, in Afghanistan issue, I stand with India's foreign policy of being realistic and mending its ties with the Afghan Taliban, the current regime, sir. Because if we don't have talks with the Afghan regime, the infrastructure we have built and the connection points we have built over the decade to Central Asia can be in hot waters if we don't have good ties with the current regime, sir.
Okay, good.
So, public administration is your optional, right?
Yes, sir.
And you belong from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Has the new capital been created in Andhra Pradesh now?
Sir, there is a conjecture in the capital issue. Earlier, the capital region was decided to be Amravati. Now, in the current regime, they have brought in a bill to have three capitals. It was repealed, and there is no progress after that, sir.
Okay.
So,
what kind of difficulties are being faced when a new capital is being constructed, and what are the administrative challenges which are there?
sir, can I think for a moment?
For sure.
So, the first issue would be the land pooling to gather the land resources from the place where the capital have to be built. Second, capital, I mean the funds that goes into building a capital region. Third, intra-regional issues where every region want to have capital in their place.
Okay. So, if you are the chief secretary of the state, how would you try to convince the and satisfy the regional aspirations of the people with respect to how that they want to make a capital in their own region? What kind of reasonings would you give?
Sir, the first thing would be to have meaningful collaborations and deliberations by bringing all the stakeholders and debating about the issue. Second, capital can be in one region, but we can have an inclusive development of all regions with industrial corridors, food processing units. Andhra Pradesh, especially in the case of Andhra Pradesh, we have vast coastline and diversity in the resources, sir. So we can develop each region to be hub of one sector, so that capital need not be there, but development can be there.
Okay. In your neighboring state, that is Tamil Nadu, there were talks about giving some kind of income for the housework which the women are doing at the home. What are your views on that? Is it just should we give some kind of to the women so that housework is considered as a profession, and what are the other issues related to this?
Sir, I have two views about that. Definitely, we have to account the caregiving work and unpaid work women are doing for the society and for their family. And coming back to give certain income to the women who are doing that work, we have to look into the physical state of the state or country concerned, sir. So we should have all the calculations in place. And if it is affordable, we can have some basic income kind of strategy to give recognition to them.
Okay.
And this was your second attempt, isn't it?
Yes, the second attempt.
First one also you qualified for interview, or this is the first one?
First one also I qualified, sir. This is my second interview.
So what happened in that interview? What went wrong?
Sir, interview was fine. I lagged in mains marks.
How many marks did you give?
165, sir.
Okay. Not quite fine. I think this time also in interview, at least I find you're absolutely fine. Your answer, you're very confident in speaking, you're cogent to the point. So on that account, I don't have anything to say. Only thing is that, and on situational issues also, you've been able to apply your mind